Stop forgetting about your product feed. It's time to optimize. Man, so often I see accounts that they're doing shopping ads on Google and they have set their product feed up maybe years ago. Maybe it was the beginning of last year and they just kind of set it and forget it. No, you've got to make sure you've got everything in there that Google can utilize to get you better performance with your shopping ads. So today I'm going to go over the most vital, important, required and additional fields that you absolutely should be getting in if it's applicable to you inside of your product feed. Let's go. So number one is going to be things that are just absolutely crucial. Let's knock those out. They're going to be boring, but these are the ones that you've got to make sure that you have. So first thing I'm going to say is if you have any disapprovals in the diagnostic section of your Google Merchant Center, make sure you get all of that stuff approved. I know this could be a headache sometimes, but knock it out, get it ready to go, because if they're disapproved, you can't show those products on Google Shopping ads. So make sure you take care of those as best you can. Probably the most common one is going to be your GTINs, as we like to say, your GTINs, or also known as an EAN. If you don't have that, you might be able to use an MPN. Again, if you don't have a G10, if that also does not apply to you, don't think that you are just completely screwed. You can also use there's actually a field that Google gives you to tell Google that you don't have any of those things, that it doesn't apply to you. It's the identifier exists field. So make sure that you essentially set that to false inside of your product feed for all of those products that are applicable for that. That'll make sure it's not continued to be disapproved. Now, if you keep having issues, obviously reach out to Google support. I know, but that's really all you can do at that point if you still keep running into issues. So make sure to take care of those disapprovals. It's usually going to be G10s, MPNs, or EANs. Make sure you get those all configured there. Next one's going to be in terms of just vital things, your shipping. Most accounts are going to use the Google Merchant Center shipping section, but you can also put that into your product feed if you feel like that's a better fit for you for whatever crazy reason. Next is going to be things that will affect the search terms that Google feels are relevant and that they'll show ads for. So this is going to be three main things. It's going to be your title, your description, and your Google product category, which is essentially just it's something that falls into the taxonomy that Google gives or provides to advertisers. And honestly, you might not find a great or near perfect fit for each of your products, but just get to the closest Google product category that is available in that giant list of categories there. So again, it won't be perfect for everybody, but definitely find one that is the best fit. Do not ignore that because it does affect the search terms over the long term that Google will show your ads for. Title, man, is this important. If you do nothing else from this video, make sure that you double check all of your product titles, especially new ones, new inventory that's been added maybe recently to your business. Make sure you're double checking those titles and staying on top of those. The best thing you can do in most cases is to have a feed management tool, data feed watch, feedonomics, whatever it is. I'm not a sponsor of any of those guys at this current making of this video, but those are probably the most common that I see outside of just using the CMS like Shopify to update fields, things like that. But definitely use a feed management tool if you have lots of products. I'm not going to give you an exact number. Maybe it's over 500 products or 500 SKUs, whatever it is. But that way you can utilize feed rules if you want to use a paid tool for that is, and you want something a little bit more user-friendly. If you're comfortable with spreadsheets and you want to use, or you just want to use Google Merchant Center's built-in feed rules, you can also do that. There is a section inside of Google Merchant Center under feeds that you can customize feed rules and essentially do some of the same thing, kind of create titles and stuff with that. I've seen people mess that up, so I tend to lean to a paid tool for most advertisers, so they are less likely to mess up their own feed. But regardless, you have many options. You can also just use a Google Sheet where your entire product feed is fed into your Google Merchant Center. It's a little bit easier to customize things. But generally speaking, paid tool is probably going to be most for larger advertisers with complex or large inventories. So title, very, very, very important. Make sure you optimize the heck out of that thing. Description as well. And again, mostly because all three of the ones I've mentioned so far all affect the search terms that Google's going to show your shopping ads for. So vital, yeah, very, very vital. Next thing's going to be just my recommendations as to other fields that are very, very important. So these ones, the next three that I'm going to mention are more for segmentation, so that you can like find the field and say, I want these products or whatever it is in these campaigns or in these ad groups. So for segmentation, these are the three you're going to utilize the most. Or it's going to be the something that you're utilizing for data analysis. So it has two major benefits: data analysis as well as segmentation. It's going to be product type. Again, mostly for segmentation data analysis. So the product type field, make sure that you fill that out. So it's going to be whatever is applicable for your business and in each of the products that are in there. So this can get very complex, or it can be somewhat simple. Maybe you only have 3 levels of product types. Maybe you only have 1. It's going to be totally up to you and your business. Generally speaking, most businesses are going to have at least 2 product type tier categories rather, so that you can break that down in your data analysis and say, product level 1, let's say it's shirts. And then product level 2 is going to be winter shirts versus summer shirts. I don't know, it's probably a terrible example, but you get what I'm saying. Definitely make sure that you utilize that field. Again, for data analysis and segmentation. Number 2 is going to be your custom labels. I just shot a video about this yesterday. Make sure you use your custom labels. This is a field that you can put in whatever you want, similar to product types, but it gives you additional fields in which to slice and dice your data and create segmentations within your account. You get 5 custom label fields. Definitely use as many of those as makes sense for you. Last one's going to be your product brand. It's technically just brand in the field, but it's essentially your product brand. Now, most businesses, or not most, but some businesses are going to just have one brand, which is whatever their brand name is. Other sellers are going to offer multiple brands, and you're going to want to make sure that all of those fields are populated. Very, very important. Next, in terms of just performance enhancements and fields that can affect performance, not always, it's going to be your sale price. So if you run promotions, if that applies to you, and you guys do run promotions occasionally or often, definitely make sure that you're using the sale price field. Essentially, you're going to say after discount, this is what the new price is going to be during this promotion. It's a great way to utilize the space inside of a shopping ad. You only get so much. You'll essentially be able to get an ad that shows that discounted price. It can be a great competitive tool when you are being shown next to like 3 or 4 other advertisers selling something similar. So definitely utilize that field. Item group ID, very underutilized field. Item group ID essentially says if I have like 6 different six different colors of shirts, and I want inside of my ads every once in a while to show all of those shirts together, I'm going to use an item group ID to do so. So definitely utilize that field if you have products that are very similar and you'd like to group them together inside of an advertisement, so Google can show those images together as a group in an ad. So definitely do that as well. For some businesses that might not apply to you, but regardless, if that does, definitely utilize that field. Next one's going to be additional image links. This is also underutilized. Usually I just see 1 image in there. You can put multiple images in there. So lifestyle images, multiple of those. Maybe just additional product images that you want to kind of try out, but you don't want it to be the main image. Definitely utilize that field. Now, these next ones are going to be if it's just applicable to you. So it's not going to be everybody that needs this, but if it does apply to you in any form or fashion, absolutely use this. I am a big proponent of putting in anything that doesn't seem necessary. It's just, quote unquote, an optional field. I like to give Google as much information about my products as possible to do whatever I can to influence its targeting, the search terms it shows for me, whatever. Even if Google says it doesn't influence the search terms, I don't care. I want to give Google as much information as possible to get the best possible performance out of my shopping ads. So those fields, there's going to be a lot of them, but really the main ones are going to be color, material, size type. So let's say like shoe sizes in European EU versus US, different size types in that sense. Age groups, so different groupings of ages. That wasn't obvious. And then the last one's going to be adult. If it's like an adult-only product, I don't think I have to really elaborate there. I think you adults know what I'm talking about. Make sure if that applies to you that you make that very clear to Google so they're not showing that to people who shouldn't be seeing it. That's going to wrap up the video for today. I hope that was helpful for you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.